We're live. Howdy, folks. Let me zoom in a little or a lot. There you go. I think that's a little bit better. What do you think? Yeah? All right. So there you go. I'm live. This is day 2 being live on the YouTubes. And where am I today? I'm in Aventura. That's where I work. That's what I do. Why am I in a Tesla? This is part 2 of why am I in a Tesla. Part 1 was a lot more about about divorce, and part 2, which is today, is going to be a bit more about this part is going to be a little bit more about work. And here's why I want to talk to you guys about work. Having a great work ethic, being disciplined, and that also applies to sports. You know, it all revolves around one thing, and that's discipline. It's about hard work. You know, in physics, say a body in motion or a body at rest will remain at rest unless a force is applied to it, right? And the same goes for our bodies, right? If we seldom do anything, if we're not disciplined, if we don't push ourselves, then the harvest will reflect that. And what I mean by that is, I've got all kinds of people in my life. I've had all kinds of people in my life. I'm 58 years old. I've been across. I've lived in different continents, for the love of God, right? I'm Canadian, so that right there, culturally, I'm different. You think that America is a cesspool of immigrants, but it truly isn't. There's over 200 million people here, and most of them are Americans. Most of them were either born here or, it's not all immigrants anymore. It was for a while, but not anymore. It's not anymore. So, with that in mind, people like me are outsiders. We just are, just are. And looking in from the outside, I don't want to be here anymore, quite frankly. I'm done with Florida, done with the U.S., and I'm too old for this garbage. And I really have my eyes on Spain. I do. I've been looking into it. Either that or Italy. Europe. My American dream has been shattered. And it's turned into a complete nightmare. And because of that, I'm done. I'm done. I was talking to Banana for a little bit about, hitting Poland and calling that home for a bit. That's a nice truck. But that didn't work out. So that plan's out the window. It's unfortunate. Banana is a remarkable human being, but boy, she got problems. So, yeah. When I first came to America, I think I was 10 years old. First time I came to Florida, I think. And that was epic. It was life-changing for me. First time I came. I was so blown away by the palm trees, the weather, the beaches, Disney World, and all that. And so I worked tirelessly afterwards to return to Florida, and it took me a while. I visited many times. When I was 16, for example, I remember renting a car. I rented a Chevette. Oh my God. And I lived in the car. It was a Chevette, and I lived in it while I was here in Florida. I couldn't afford a hotel, so I slept in the car, and I spent every day at Disney World, where I had I found a back door to get into the Magic Kingdom. I was a crook. Man, I was a crook in those days. I'd go into the Magic Kingdom using the back door, which is, walking through the cast member parking lot from the Contemporary Hotel where I parked for free. So I parked my car and slept in my car at the Contemporary. Of course, I used the showers and the bathrooms at the Contemporary around the pool. It was open 24/7. A couple of times I tried sleeping on the lawn chairs over there, the long chairs, the beach chairs, but I got caught. So they said no. And so I ended up in my car. And they left me alone in my car for the 2 weeks that I was down here. And I remember going to the Magic Kingdom and then going to City Hall, going to guest services and lying. I'm so ashamed. I really am. My bestest, And lying and telling them that I'd lost my ticket, that I was with my parents, and I was supposed to meet my parents at Epcot Center at a certain time. And in those days, there were no cell phones. This is way before cell phones. So, customer service would issue a multi-part ticket for me to use for that day. And I used to try and get away with that every day, trying to speak to a different person at customer service at the Magic Kingdom, because that's really the only place that I could get in for free or, cheating. So I'd go to Disney every day. And of course go to the beach and do all that. But I was 16 the first time I did that. And then afterwards, for years afterwards, I lived in Montreal at the time. And I started working for a drive-away service, and that would allow me to either drive a car down to Florida from Montreal, from Snowbirds. The cars were full of junk, like clothes and everything that the Snowbirds needed to live through a Florida winter. So I drive down to Florida for free with these cars, and they would even pay for fuel. And then they would fly me back to Montreal and pay for the flight. And that's called a drive-away service. And then in the springtime, I'd do the opposite. I would fly down to Florida, pick up a car, and then drive it north. So that was kind of fun. It always gave me a car to sleep in, a car to, basically, kind of like live in if I couldn't afford a hotel. And in most cases, I couldn't. I've always been poor, guys. Well, not always, but yeah. But I am resourceful. So I've been coming to Disney, I'm into Florida for a long time, and then eventually in 97, I think, I was making a lot of money, so I stayed at the Contemporary Hotel on the concierge level, I think it's called, I forget. But it was a top floor. I stayed on I had this most amazing room at the Contemporary, and all the perks that came along with having a penthouse suite that was overlooking the Magic Kingdom at night. It was amazing. This amazing view at night and the fireworks and all that. So I stayed at the Contemporary for a few weeks back in 97, I think. And then after that, I was doing better, so I kept renting different hotels. I stayed at the Polynesian, I stayed at the Grand Floridian, I stayed at the All-Star Resort. That was nothing fancy. Stayed at Port Orleans, I think it's called, I forget. And then the Caribbean Beach Resort. I stayed at all the resorts, like just a couple of nights, and bounced around. So, and then eventually, actually before that, back in 91 is when I worked for Disney for a year at Epcot, and that was the best year of my life. It was an amazing year. And oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that there's people on here. I want to say hi. My story is amazing. Thank you. I don't know who you are. Then there's a few other ones. Are you human? Yes, very much so. You're from India. Hola, India. Algeria. Well, how there? Algeria. That's not exactly Alabama. That's nice. If I want to be friends, of course. Tesla. Yeah, it's a Tesla. How did you know it was a Tesla? You want to give me a tour? I'll give you the tour, okay? This is the tour of the Tesla. This is a Tesla Model Y. And that's my Subway lunch. Woo! I'm having Subway today. Yeah, it's a Tesla. Why am I in a Tesla? Well, that's a very good question. I'll tell you why I'm in a Tesla. because I can't drive my truck. I own a 2000 Chevy Silverado, the most incredible truck. And I lost it in my divorce. And I had to give it back. Well, I left it when I left the marital home back in 2021. But when I left my home, oops, sorry, I didn't realize you guys were off camera. When I was forced to leave my home, yeah, it still hurts. That one still hurts a little bit. But when I left my home, I had to leave the truck behind. I took my work van, my Dodge Grand Caravan, with me. And even though my ex-wife already had another vehicle, and she's got 2 vehicles, only one adult in the family, but she needs 2 cars. She needs a lot of things. But yeah, so my divorce cost me my truck, my horse, my dog, my house, my cats, Captain and Olive. I lost everything in my divorce, guys. I lost everything I built, everything I worked for. I lost my best friend. Turned out to be my worst enemy. I lost my wife. I love being married. I miss it. Yeah. So, divorce sucks. Just put that out there, right? I don't mean to be a downer, but let me read the comments again real quick. You speak Arabian. Ah, interesting. Your name, I can't read your name. The Phenomenal, I'm not sure. And then I can't read the other names, guys. I'm really sorry. I wish I could put on my glasses, but it's really bright in here. So I want to say hello to all of you. Hello. That's all I got. I do these lives because they're therapeutic. My therapist telling me that I need an outlet, so this is my outlet. I decided to use you guys for therapy. So, yeah. Yeah, back to the American dream shattered. Why? It's too hot in Florida anymore. It's brutal how hot it gets. And I'm done. I'm done. If I could leave now, hold on, who's that? If I could leave now and move to Europe today, I would. There's nothing holding me back here in Florida. There's work, but you know, yeah. It is amazing, but there's really nothing holding me back here anymore. Nothing. So, it'll be time to spread my wings and see what the world has in store for me. This time around, at the tender age of 58, I'm an old man. So, tender age, 58. But I gotta tell you, for a while there, I thought, there's no way I'm ever gonna meet anyone half as beautiful, half as wonderful, half as sensual, half as passionate, half as, because I'm old, right? So I kind of gave up on finding a new muse, a new object of desire. And then I met someone a little over a year ago, someone incredible. But she can't let go of the past. She lives in the past. It's a constant, and then there's a silent treatment, and the same thing that my ex did. Same punishment, same thing. Same thing. When I fail, I get punished. And I can't live with that. I can't have that in my life. But this weekend, something special happened that gave me a ton of hope. Something unbelievable. I mean, I have been blessed. I have been just. The abundance of God's blessings in my life in 58 years is just, it's amazing, truly. But this weekend, he did something. He allowed something to happen in my life. And one could argue it may have been a little naughty, I guess you could call it that. It was amazing. It was the most amazing. I think it was the most amazing, like, 10 minutes of my life. I don't know how long it lasted. I can't remember, really, to be quite honest. But I'm talking about a climax in my life, a peak of such incredible magnitude. And wait, there's more. Oh, by the way, if you want to find out more about Susie Q, subscribe. Trust me, you want to subscribe. At some point, I'm going to spill the beans. At some point, I'm gonna let her fly. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna tell you guys about Susie Q. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I will, but you have to subscribe. Yeah, you like, yeah, obviously, right? You're here. Subscribe, please, right? I said the magic word. I said please. And share if you want to share, and comment. I want to read your comments. Speaking of comments, are you still there? Okay, still there. So comment, because Susie Q, the story, it's not Susie, it's not about Susie, it's about what she did in my life for me. She did it for me. Oh, for her, for us. But it's the way she set it up, the way I was not expecting for her to even have that conversation, quite frankly. I was equally surprised and excited. And yeah, I'm 58 years old, and on Sunday for about 10 minutes, I was the happiest man on earth. I had to be. I almost died. I almost died, bro. I'm not kidding. I came pretty close to having a heart attack. I was so happy. If I could have died in that moment, and I'm not suicidal. I never have been. I'm good. I go through some rough times, but I come out on top. It's what I do. I'm a fighter. I've been through some, it's been a tough 3 years. 4 years. It's been tough. But, here I am. And then on Sunday, God gave me something. God. He didn't just give me something, he gave her something. Twice. just twice. It was absolutely spectacular, incredible, magnificent. Just, it didn't get a whole lot better than that. It just don't get better than that. I'll tell you one thing. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm giving you a little secret, a little candy. I'll tell you one thing about Susie Q. Her voice is amazing. Her voice is amazing. Her voice is just mesmerizing. She has perhaps the most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my entire life. I threw perhaps in there because there's one other voice that one other voice that I love, that I adore. I thought I was going to be able to hear it forever. Oh, God. Well, it hurts. Pain hurts, don't it? Pain hurts. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. It's going to post by itself eventually. One thing I'm going to tell you about Susie Q is she gave me is more precious than gold. It's something money cannot buy. So, nope, not that. Tires are coming off the Tesla. I just saw one of the tires in the back. Looks like it's not me. I haven't been driving this car hard, honestly. Like, I've only had it for, what, a week? About a week, right? No bueno, this car. It's a Turo, by the way. It's a rental. I rented by the month. I don't want a Tesla. I want my truck. I can't get my truck, so I drive this. The van's dead. Don't know what to do about the van. And now we got, Stefan and I got that police cruiser. Got a Dodge Charger with a Hemi in it. A 5.7 liter Hemi. It's a turd. We're trying to get rid of it. We can't. So we might end up wrapping it. I don't know. Stefan wants to wrap it. Spending more money on a wrap for it. Don't know. So we got that. And then at the auction next weekend, we're looking at a 4 Explorer. It's not going to be cheap. There's a few nice cars that we'd like to flip. Just check them out. See what happens. And yeah. This is my therapy. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side, right?